Yep, there you go.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Hey, welcome to Unleash Her. Yes. Okay. This has been an interesting day, and I love it because we are just going with the flow here, aren't we?
Yep,
Oh
we
my
are.
goodness. Um, so yeah, we're gonna get started again here for all of you, and welcome everyone. And I'm Roberta, and I can't wait to introduce my friend Stephanie Harrell. And Stephanie has such a powerful story to tell. And so this is really, I'm really proud of her. And we have a collaboration that we're working on here, this anthology. So Stephanie has written this chapter for a book. And but first of all, before we go any further, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Great. Okay. So I have been divorced for 5 years and I was married for 34 years. And I lost myself during that marriage and didn't recognize who I was. And I felt the need to start over, which was scary in my 50s. And I had lived with someone since I was 20. I went from my parents' house to a husband's house. And, that was the biggest step for me. And maybe it took a little bit too long. But once I got there, I realized I had a story to tell. And so I started sharing that story and how I've changed my life and how I went from surviving to thriving. And I felt like at least if I could impact anyone or empower other women to change their story, to start over in their 40s or 50s, because it's never too late. And just encourage them not to give up. And I just started sharing my story, and someone heard it and they connected us and said, "Hey, you need to talk to Roberta." And so I don't believe in coincidences, and it's perfect alignment. And here we are. And I am
Yes.
honored to be here.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. And I really felt this connection with you. And I love it because we're kind of on that same journey. And, there's people out there, we both kind of restarted our lives in our 50s. But what does it take? And what was it for you that was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm making changes. I mean, being married for 34 years, and for the person out there, for the woman that says I can't leave, I can't do this, what do you have for them?
Right. Um, so that we're stronger, my belief is that we're stronger than we really give ourselves credit for, and that we all have that power within us, but we um, dismiss that a lot. We don't trust our intuition, and we get in a comfort zone and we just stay there because change is scary. And sometimes it's easier to stay. And for me, I stayed 34 years, but I lost myself in that process. And I would look in the mirror and I didn't know that girl anymore. And I was in a shell. I was numb. I just no emotions whatsoever. And I'd look at her and say, "I don't even know you at all." But there was something inside me, and I was like, I've got to change. I need to find myself. And um, the defining moment was when my ex-husband pointed a gun at me and told me I needed to die. And, after some thought, I'm like, I'm already dead inside. And just that numb feeling. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to find me. I have to change this. I have to change what my children see. I have to change who I am and be the example for other women. Of course I can do this. So it was scary and I made a plan and I didn't leave that day, but I decided even scarier to share my story, to put it out there, so that women do know that they can do it. Don't stay, don't settle because we deserve the best. Worthiness is our birthright. We are born worthy and we do deserve the best and we can have it and it's never too late.
Mm, yeah, gosh, that's so beautiful, and thank you for sharing that with us. And you have
Sure.
such a powerful story that you have written and contributed
Hmm.
to our book. And it's a part of really being vulnerable, being raw and
Mhm.
real, and just saying, this is what happened to me, but it doesn't define me, right?
Right. No, not at all. I have learned so much since then. And outside of that, I've traveled and met people all over the world. And there's a whole different perspective. And so sometimes we get stuck in that small town, the 9 to 5, the day to day, and it's like being on a hamster wheel. And you think that's it. This is it. This is me. I'm going to do this every day for 70 years and call it a life. And that's not living. It's not a life at all because there's just so much to this world and so much that we can have and we deserve. And that situation didn't define me, but I am grateful for every bit of it. And using gratitude, what I found is gratitude, being grateful for the lessons, and it opens doors to more. And the more grateful I am, the more I receive. And I just love it. So I forgave myself. I forgave everyone around me or everyone involved in it. And, I allowed it. So I have to take responsibility for that. I stayed and allowed what happened, and that's on me. But I have forgiven myself. And, and so now I'm just grateful for the journey. I'm grateful that I'm here and I'm in a wonderful place. And it's the best life I could have never dreamed that it could be this good.
That's crazy. I mean, you just
Hmm.
decided, you made that decision.
Hmm.
I'm changing my life. I'm going to make some
Right.
changes. And it took you a little bit of time to
Yeah.
find the courage and to find your, how to do this, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but then once you did, you went on a little journey of self-discovery.
I did. I did. So when I was in my marriage, I watched Eat, Pray, and Love with Julia Roberts, and she went on a journey to Bali and just rediscovered herself. And I would watch that movie and cry, and every time I saw it, and I just cried thinking about it because I kept telling myself, I'm going to Bali. That's me. I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to find myself. And I made up my mind to do that. So when I got a divorce, I got a passport, and I was going to go to Costa Rica. But the lady that organized the trip, she called me up and she said, I don't know why I'm calling you, but I have a spot and it's our first year going to Bali. And I feel like I'm supposed to tell you about it. And I said, that's my seat. I'm supposed to go to Bali. I'm supposed to be there. And so I did. And the first time flew out of the United States was my trip to Bali. And when I got there, my driver's name was Katut, who was um, Liz's mentor in the movie, Katut, and the places in the movie that she had visited and where she was staying and on the journey he took me to. That first day, I had 8 hours of free time before the event started and before I had to meet the other women. And so I told him about that, and he was like, well, I know this place, and here's the church. And so we went around and visited those. And, synchronicities, there are no accidents in life. And so when you just open yourself to receive, it just all pours in.
Yeah, it's so
Hmm.
true. This is manifestation.
It
Oh,
is, yes,
but that was just,
manifestation.
yes. And that was just the start of your journey because then you come back and you really start, you take the time. You took time to work
Oh,
on
I
you.
did. I did take time for me. I lived alone. I moved into a place myself, away from my family, which at the time they didn't understand, but it was me. I had to prove I could live by myself. I had to prove, and I did the work. I read everything. I did all of the motivational. I studied manifestation. I hired a life coach, and then my life coach said, what are you doing? You need to be a life coach. You should be sharing this story. He said, you're paying me, and I feel like I'm taking your money for nothing because you're doing this, you're living it, and you should be sharing this with women and helping other women through this process. So I became a certified life coach and created an LLC. I started a new business and worked on manifesting a whole new life, just stepping into a new identity.
Yes, you
Mhm.
embodied it. You embodied that
Did.
material because we could study and
Mhm.
read and do all this, but you really embodied it, internalized it, and said, this and realized what you wanted and what are the steps like how to move into that person that you want to be. But then
Yeah.
you did something really cool I want you to share because you shared with me
Um,
of more of attraction and law of
okay.
attraction and vibration.
Yes. So I created a process that I had trademarked using manifestation and attracting the relationship and the person of your dreams. And I tweaked it and kept working on it. And I mean, in a nutshell, you have to be very specific and intentional when you're manifesting. And so I have path, a heart path, that you write all of the characteristics of the person you want, and you have to envision that and embody that, and you have to love yourself like you want that person to love you. But probably 220 characteristics later, I did manifest the man that was on that piece of paper. And it's crazy good because he had all of the characteristics down to I matched personality types. So I took the Myers-Briggs, I knew my personality and, what is my perfect match? And I had even his personality type, Myers-Briggs. And so after a few dates, he said, "Hey, do you know your Myers-Briggs personality type? Have you ever done that?" And of course I had. And down to height and the number of children and his age, all of it. And at the top, I put a code word and I was like, okay, God, this is not a joke. I want this man on this piece of paper. And how will I know he's the one? So I picked a code word, which was Cinderella. And I was like, listen, no man in his 50s will use the word Cinderella unless he has like 2-year-old children or something. And Cinderella's long gone, right? So I said, no man will use that word. But if he's the man, he'll use the word Cinderella. He'll use my code word. And so after a few dates, we've been dating a couple months, I guess. And he said, well, Cinderella, do you turn into a pumpkin at midnight or can you stay a little longer? And so I was like, oh, he's the one. Like he used the code word. And I could just go down the list of just crazy things. I could envision him. And when I visualized him, I could see him at the back and he'd had a long coat on, but he had this full head of black hair, wavy, and I could always see him from the back, but I could never see his face. And so when I actually met him one night, he was standing in the kitchen away from me, at, down next to the dining room from the back. And I was like, that's him. That's the man that I envisioned from the back. That's the head of hair. And that was, I visualized him before we even met. And so when I tell you manifestation is powerful, and that when you're really open to receiving and you want what's best and you're living in alignment and you do the work, and when you heal and your frequency moves up, that vibrational frequency, and you align with those people and opportunities, it just all floods in. And so I'm living my best love story right now. And I went to Alaska this summer and spent some extended time with him there. And he came back and we moved in together, and I manifested us living at the beach, and it's like living a dream. It's been wonderful, and it's possible. I shout it every day that I want people to know it is possible.
It is. And you,
Mhm.
from listening to you and everything that I've studied, you did it. You've done the work. You took the
Yes.
time, you
Hmm.
worked on yourself, letting go of the limiting beliefs, letting go of the pain from the past and knowing and taking responsibility for your life. Like every single thing you've done, it's so beautiful. And now you have to show others how to do this.
Yes, and that's my journey, is share your story. So I had a life coach, and I had written a relationship course, and it's not really about what to do when you're, it's how to manifest that person. Like, how do you go through this process and find that person? And it does all begin with you and what you want and how you treat yourself and how you love yourself, because you can attract what you aren't. You attract what you are. And so if you really want that person, you have to become them. And so now that we're in this relationship, my boyfriend, he said we need to do this together. Like this, everybody needs what we have. And he said, "Let me help you. Let me just grow your business. Let's put it out there." And so now he wants to make videos together, and he wants a podcast together, and he wants a relationship piece because he did the same thing but not to the extent that I did. But he wrote it on paper and he said, I got to a point where I had pros and cons and what am I doing wrong? And he said, so I wrote on a piece of paper the woman that I was looking for and what I needed. And he said, you're that person. So he did the same thing, not to the extent that I did, but he said, we need to share this. It's too good not to tell people. And so we have been here at the beach for about 3 weeks, and we are working on pushing out the course and a test. We developed a test. What are the blocks that are keeping you stuck? What are the blocks that are keeping you single? And it's a relationship test, and we haven't pushed it out, but we have lots of things coming that we want out at the beginning of the year.
Oh, it's so good. It's
It it really is. I can't describe the feeling, but when I say I went from surviving to thriving, that's absolutely what happened. Um, there are times now I think about I he asked me the other day about pockets of time that I don't even remember. I can't recall the year. It's almost like the memory's gone, and your body protects you at some point. And I said I felt numb, and there weren't emotions tied to certain things, and I don't remember them. It's like there's a blank, and I know it's in there, and to dig deep. So now I have to figure it out. But you should never live like that. Every day should be an adventure, and it's the little things, and it's a wonderful journey. And so I really did go from surviving and losing myself and not knowing who that girl in the mirror was to I'd certainly consider myself thriving and loving every minute of every day. I mean, we take walks on the beach and we just take time out and do the important things now.
yeah, that's so beautiful. And I think some people are like, oh, yeah, yeah, that just sounds too good to be true. That could never happen for me. But that they're blocking themselves just by those thoughts and by saying that.
Yeah, the limiting beliefs. Those are limiting beliefs, and that's a block. And I said the same things for way too long. Like, how I should be traveling around the world, but that'll never happen for me. And it took me until I was 50 something, but it absolutely can happen. And now, you just collapse time. You can manifest and collapse time and make things happen so much faster when you're open to that. And I'm making up for lost time.
Mm. And thank you for putting yourself out there. And I
Mm.
cannot wait to see what's next for you guys because you're creating something really beautiful that people need. Because, two, I think that, I see a lot of people and myself, that after divorce, we just think we're just going to jump into another relationship when we haven't worked on ourselves and we haven't taken a little bit of time to
Mhm.
heal and to let go of some things.
Yep.
Um, Now I spent a lot of time, a lot of time, but I'm grateful for everything that has happened in my life. I know you are too, because if we wouldn't have experienced that, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Yep, I agree. It's all about gratitude, forgiving yourself and gratitude. You have to have
Yeah,
forgiveness, and you
yeah.
start with that.
And just allowing. And when we were first introduced, we were
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. Yeah, this was meant to be.
Yeah. Oh, we were so aligned, and it was just not by accident. We had so many things in common. It could not be coincidental. It's perfect alignment.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
think that what you're doing is so important because I think that first of all, we think that other person is going to just save us. I think we're looking for someone to save us. But
Right.
when we really take the time to figure out who am I and what do I really want?
Yes. Yeah. we take that responsibility because I did take the time, but immediately after my divorce, I did get into a relationship and it was the exact same thing. And it was repeating this cycle. And when I realized that, I broke away from that and said, no, I have to work on me and find out what I want, find and start with me and change that pattern. And so you do have to take the time. And
Yeah.
and I was afraid to live alone. And that's where I found myself, in that silence. And you're sitting in a house and it's quiet. And then you have to face your fears and you have to face the truth. And so it's so important to take time for yourself. If
It
there's
is.
no other lesson, take time for yourself and find out who you really are.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And it, some people it might take 6 months or years,
Hmm.
but really true. I mean, our whole lives are for growing and for evolving. So you're in a great place now, but just think it's just going to keep getting better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So much better. I am going to. I've started making notes because you had me write this chapter, and now I'm looking at a book because I had so many thoughts, and then I sent the chapter, and you said it's too long, cut it back. And I'm like, but I have a lot more to say. And now I'm thinking about a book, um, which is about people pleasing and living in a small town, and you don't want to disappoint people and you lose yourself in that process. And so there has to be boundaries and things in ways that we protect ourselves. And so it's a whole thought process of, not worrying about other people and really loving yourself without that being selfish.
Hmm.
And so there are thoughts of a new book that I've just started toying with, but we'll let this one get out first and share that and next steps. Next
Yeah.
steps.
And I think that's such a great
Mhm.
way too, because our chapters, were about 2000 words or something, which is like a nice summary.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
really a good summary for your life and what you do want to share. And
Mhm.
I know that the people that need to hear that will be attracted to you.
Yes. Yes. I mean, attraction is just, it's crazy how it happens. And I've had people reach out and people that I don't even know that said, hey, I heard your story, or hey, I saw you on TikTok or whatever. And it's just alignment and doors are opening. And I am grateful for every single minute of it.
Yeah. And that is so important, is that gratitude. And along the way here, like with our book, so I created this anthology
Mhm.
and it was titled Unleashed.
Yes.
And then some things happened and I won't go into it, but I wasn't able to use that title anymore. And so I had to change the title of the book. And when this all happened to me, I was like, okay, you guys, when you're hit with something like that, you don't go to, oh no, what? This is not right. I didn't go to that because I'm like, okay, it wasn't supposed to be. And when you see that in everything in your life, and I ended up just changing the title, I'm like, it's Unleash Her. You know, this is it. This is the title. It's been in front of me the
Mhm.
whole time. And it's so perfect. You just have to let go of trying to force everything.
Oh gosh, we are in such alignment. It's crazy because now that you're saying, because this week, so I trademarked the process for my relationship course and I had that trademark and filed, and I got an email this week, and it was about 5 months ago that we did it, or 6 months, and they said, I'm sorry, you can't use it because there's a name too close to that, and it would infringe on that. So I have to go back to square one, and they told me I could use the name, and but here we are. And I wanted to force it so bad. And they're like, we can appeal it and you can pay more money and we'll fight it. And I was like, no, we aren't going to force it. That means the name is not supposed to be that. And, quit fighting it. Just let it go. Take a step back. And so I'm going through the exact same thing. Our alignment is crazy and I love it. But yes, same lesson.
And the thing was, at first I was like, oh, for a second, I'm like, oh no, what if they get mad? What if they,
Hmm.
and I was like, that you got to let that go.
Yeah.
I had no control over it. And when we have no control over things like that, you have to understand that it was not supposed to be that
Hmm.
way.
That's right. There's bigger and better coming. And so, whatever it is, let it go and don't
Yeah,
force it. And, at first the attorney said, "Are you tied to the name?" And I was like, "Yes, I am. I'm tied to it." But then, on retrospect, I was like, "No, it's okay. We'll come up with something else, something bigger and better. It wasn't meant to be." And so, that's when you start living in flow. Just let it
right.
go because it's coming. And I love Unleash Her. I love it. And so, it's perfect. It's perfect for us.
It was what
Hmm.
it is. It was what
That's
was
right.
supposed to be. And it does. It fits
Hmm.
that because, this is this beautiful group of women that have really, let go. Unleashing is letting go of the things that are holding you back. And that's
Hmm.
what everyone is doing and has done in this book. And
Yes.
so I'm just so proud of
Hmm.
each and every one of you.
I love it. I can't wait until it comes out because the stories are, all of the stories are so powerful. It just gave me chills reading all of them. And I can't wait I've already tagged women. You need to read this. You need to read this. And so I have people waiting.
Yeah, we have had incredible feedback. And
Hmm.
so we are aiming for December 12th. That is our projected launch date, which I have no doubt that's what it's supposed to be. And you should just, if you could see behind the scenes of this
Hmm.
too, because I'm like, everything is lining up exactly how it's supposed to be and watching this all come together. But this has done more for me than what I thought it would. Like, I feel so connected to all of you. And at the beginning, I said, this is more than a book, you guys. It's more than that. This is a movement. I want to
Right.
create something. I'm just not here to just, get your story and put this book out and that's
Hmm.
it. I can see that and I want to do so many things and I'm going to be on a local a radio station here on December 1st. We are promoting this and they're owned by iHeartRadio. So we are going out there. We are also going to have this beautiful book signing also projected for February. So waiting on a final date on that. And I love it that I'm able to do that and that I have created this platform to be able to showcase all of you. So thank you
Yeah.
again.
Yes, and thank you for including me because I am honored and humbled because it's amazing and it has been wonderful being part of this group.
Thank you. Okay, so did it come to you? Did the new title come to you yet, or are you working on this?
I worked on it last night and I spent some time and I was like, nope, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. So I'm not there yet. I did come up with about 8 different things, but it just didn't feel perfect. But I'll know it when it hits me.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what life's
Hmm.
about. How does it feel?
How does it feel? It's either a hell yes or it's a no. It feels great or it's no. Just
Yes,
don't force it. And so
that's right.
I'm waiting on the hell yes. Like I have to, that's it. That's it when I hear it. It's that feeling. Everything should be
Yep.
that. And if not, it's a no. Let it go.
That's right, sister. I love it. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, you're awesome. And so, oh, thank you. Cannot wait to hear about your next step here and everything coming your way. And I'm just so proud and so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this journey with me.
Yes, thank you. And thank you all for joining us today. We're going to be ending season 1 here very soon. I'm taking a little break. I have my first grandbaby on the way. So
Yay.
we are, yes. We're
Yeah.
wrapping up all of these things and getting our book ready. Unleash Her, real stories of women that have healed from the inside out.
Mhm.
And so it's look for it soon. We are going to be everywhere. And who knows, we're going to be doing this world tour, I can see maybe, huh?
Yay.
How's that?
Yes. Yes. I'd love it. Let's travel.
Let's do it. Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sign
thank
me up.
you. We are in. Hey, and if you want to be part of the next one, reach out and let me know because I'm just being guided here.
Mhm.
And being guided by my intuition, I say that's just God. That's
Mhm.
God just leading me.
Yep.
And if you just listen to that inner voice and that inner nudge and really saying, what would you love?
Right.
And just let it go.
Absolutely.
Just allow it and
Yep.
you will see some things in your life
Yep.
change. So, all
We have
right.
the answers within us. We just have to listen.
And be looking for Stephanie's course coming out here soon too. So,
Yep.
very excited, Stephanie.
Thank you so much, Roberta.
Thank you. Everyone, take care and have a great day.